Hey guys, it's Matt. This video carries a special dedication to anybody that has absolutely nothing to do on Thanksgiving holiday today in the United States. A special shout out to people that are so disenfranchised with reality, cast away, thrown overboard by people that were once called loved ones, that if they went outside in their own backyard and did their own picnic by themselves, hoping an Indian would come out of the woods and they could recreate Thanksgiving as it was 300 years ago, that even the woodland creatures, the little sylvan creatures, would even turn away from them. People cast out of this reality like myself. What are you doing today, Matt? Well, I am going to a family member's house. It'll be the three of us. There's food being cooked. I'm going to eat it, and then I'm going to leave. Somebody commented about this in the last video. I'd give a shout out to you, but I can't find your comment. I apologize. There's things that even surprise me, guys. I'm going, come on, is this true? And it is. And then there's some links, and I figured, well, as I go through this stuff, why not just do a video as I'm going through it? And, again, a special shout out to anybody that's setting up a little picnic in their backyard, hoping the Sioux will come through the woods and you can recreate your own version of Thanksgiving the way it really went down. In speaking to the bot, I'm covering a news story. It's not my own commentary, although they told me I had the First Amendment to the Constitution, freedom of speech. I'm just covering a news story as it's presented by one of your own outlets through the Ministry of Information, Mother Jones. Okay, it's a news story. I'm not saying it because I know I'm not allowed to say it, bot. Headline, quote, the president of FIFA Soccer. Today I feel gay. Today I feel disabled, says FIFA's president, who is neither. At the bottom, it has the gall to say, fight disinformation. Sign up for the free Mother Jones daily newsletter and follow the news that matters. Fight disinformation. Coming from one of the central pillars of the Ministry of Information. Right. Story by Tim Murphy, senior reporter, Mother Jones. Your mother must be very proud of you, writing and putting forth the news that matters. Isn't that really, I think I got that from Chris. Chris in Virginia, who's a driver for a funeral home. He drives a hearse for a funeral home. She wanted to do reporting that matters, he said. And he was completely believable when he delivered that line. Gianni Infantino, with the word infant embedded in his last name. Where does one really start? Exactly. The current president of FIFA is a 52-year-old Italian Swiss who works out of an underground fortress in Zurich, where meetings are held on the third of 5 basement levels because his predecessor believed that, quote, places where people make decisions should only contain indirect light. What? Matt, that ain't nothing but a deep underground military base. You make fun of all that stuff on BitChute and Brighteon and Odyssey and all these places the truthers go, and you mocked it, Matt. It says it right here. That ain't nothing but a deep underground military. Where you think his office is, where you think he's going to retreat to once they bring the global Armageddon onto all of us. Look, I can't argue with that. I mean, I don't think it's really a dumb, but it says here that all the meetings are underground. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I apologize to the Brighteon and the Odyssey people for this one. There's also a segment of people on BitChute that says they're vampiric. Well, again, you can't argue with what it's saying here. It says they only allow indirect light down where they have their meetings. That doesn't make any sense. First off, you're down 3, 4, 5 floors. There's not going to be any indirect light unless you have like Tom Cruise and his little band of nymphs and elves, and they're beaming light down through shields and mirrors like at the end of Legend. That's how you get indirect light down there. It would be false light. The only people that would really need to live like that are vampires. It's not a joke. So the only way to get a pizza delivery, they get a daywalker like, what's his name, Blade. Wesley Snipes was financially ruined. You heard those stories 15 years ago. He delivers pizzas. He has to. But he's a daywalker. He can go out and get the pizza in the day, bring it down to them, and they eat it down on the 3rd floor. It says here, his current country of residence is a matter of some dispute. Well, of course it is. There's always a way they can avoid the taxing authorities. When it's convenient for him to live in Monaco, he lives in Monaco. When it's convenient for him to live on Antarctica, he lives in Antarctica. Antarctica. Of course they have a way to avoid the taxing authorities. They don't pay a darn cent. He once handed Donald Trump a red card in the Oval Office to use against his critics. How clever. Vladimir Putin gave him the Russian Order of Friendship. He's also friends with Mohammed bin Salman. They watched a boxing match together. So, who's Mohammed bin Salman? Why would I care? Look at this. He looks like Dr. Evil. Matt, don't do it again. We've heard enough. Come on. I'm not. I'll do a 1 billion one time later. I won't. I know enough's enough. Infantino, however, cannot focus on the football. Instead, on Saturday, he held a press conference that began with a statement ripped straight from the playbook of Andrew Cuomo. Who would go to his demented playbook? How pathetic and desperate does one need to be to copy off of him? He says, quote, there's more to what he said. Today, he says, I feel Qatari. I didn't make that word up, apparently. Today, I feel Arab. Today, I feel African. Today, I feel gay. Today, I feel disabled. Today, I feel like a migrant worker. Oh, no. Yeah, Josh, tell him if he feels disabled. Right, Josh? Yeah, my friend Josh. Yeah, this guy roams around having his $40,000 plate of caviar. He feels disabled. Of course I'm not Qatari. I'm not Arab. I'm not this. I'm not... But I feel like it because I know what it means to be discriminated against. I know what it means to be bullied. Wait a second, guys. Maybe Matt spoke too soon. Maybe there's a whole story coming, rags to riches. Maybe he grew up in the slums just north of Johannesburg, South Africa. Well, let's see what he says here. Let's give him a chance. So, okay, he says, as a foreigner in a foreign country. That's the sentence? Who wrote this? What was that guy's name, Tim? Literally, if you're not reading this, here's the sentence. Capital A for as a foreigner, comma, in a foreign country. There's no subject. There's no predicate. Tim, you ain't nothing but a bot. This is ridiculous. Well, let me continue. As a child at school, he says, I was bullied because I had red hair and had these red, how do you call them, freckles. Well, okay. Plus, I was Italian, so imagine. What does that have to do with anything? The Italian guys at my school, some of them moved up from South Philly. They are the toughest guys in the school. They would beat your ass. What's he talking about? Oh, I was Italian, so it's just a given. I was bullied. Haven't you ever seen The Godfather, sir? They don't get bullied. Last paragraph. Is that really the same thing as being a worker whose passport was confiscated so they couldn't leave their job, or living in fear of your life because you're gay in a country that refuses to recognize you exist? I would suggest that it's not. Let's just move on. Oh, God. Later, a reporter asked him about a glaring omission from his declaration of empathy. Oh, no. Look what they're doing here. Quote, Infantino said, I feel like a woman. I have 4 daughters. A reporter asked him about a glaring omission. So he says, I feel disabled. I feel gay. I feel, yes, can I, raising your hand there in the first row? Oh, you left out women. Oh, come on. I mean, guys, if anybody's saying to themselves now or has ever said to themselves, I believe like the entire reality is out to like enrage me, that's correct. That is correct, literally. For real people, how many? Few of us there are. It is designed at this point to get under your skin. This stuff isn't going on naturally, or there's always a way. My friends will explain it away. Oh, Matt, I've said this a million times. Don't you know the liberals, it's basically modern communism has invaded all the school systems and the universities. It's just a way for them to explain it away. It's literally designed to elicit the anger that I'm starting to show here. This is going through this. It's like a conditioning where literally every single time we have to transmute the anger into laughter. We have to transmute it because what it's trying to do to us is obvious and we can't take the bait. Continuing to read, the point of Infantino's remarks was not coherence. The point of all such whataboutism is to maintain a favorable status quo. He was trying to muddy the waters. What does that even mean, this guy Tim who wrote this? At first, anybody that would be upset, or anybody that maybe have a little bit of spark of realness in them that wants to or has a chance someday to, quote, wake up, it's almost like a little bone thrown to them, like somebody that's kind of seeing it the way we see it, like, oh, just stop with this. I feel like this. But so is that what this little segment of Tim's writing is supposed to do? Kind of appease? It doesn't make any sense. The point of Infantino's remarks was not coherence. The point of all such whataboutism is to maintain favorable status quo. So the reader's like, yeah, the writer of this is kind of seeing through his bullshit, but then it doesn't go anywhere. It's just bizarre the way these are written. The Not Nilk is so evil genius. Okay, in response to the movement to have FIFA set up a $440 million compensation fund, equivalent to the amount of prize money at stake over the next month, a $440 million compensation fund for workers and their families who have been harmed by conditions in Qatar or Qatar. So there's a movement they're talking about how many, just thousands and thousands of deaths from migrant workers coming in to build their jacuzzis and their skyscrapers and their theme parks and their Universal Studios. And they bring them in from all over the world, and the working conditions are horrible. And that's one of the big outrages over Morgan Freeman going, of course. So there's a movement to have FIFA, the soccer, set up. Why don't they just be like, I mean, if anything were real, they're like, we're just here to play soccer. The reality gives itself away at every turn. I mean, if we go back to the source or go back to the initial idea, who got the idea to present the 2001 job application? Who's the guy or girl that raised their hand in that meeting and said, I've got an idea for 2001? If you just trace it back to any normal press conference, yes, I'm the FIFA chairman in this example. In any real world, this is how it would go. It would come up and it would be shut down in about 2 seconds. World is completely derailed. But it's not derailed. We understand why it's making the presentations. It is. We understand the Not Nilk's aims and goals. What has really derailed is Aunt Ginny, my friend Tony, and the people around you and me that can't see through this. That is what derailed. Because this is first grade common sense. Again, Matt at the podium. I'll be the FIFA chairman for 5 minutes. Let's see how it goes if the world were real. Yes, question in the back. Matt, as chairman of FIFA, what do you say about this movement where FIFA should fund $500 million to pay the migrant workers, pay all their damages and claims and medical bills and everybody that has been harmed by the working standards here in Qatar? Wait a second. We're here to play soccer. How Qatar treats their migrant workers to build the stadiums or whatever they have them. They've been bringing migrant workers in for 40 years to develop the infrastructure here. We're here to play soccer. What does that have to do with us? That would basically be the end of it. And then the other reporter would be like, well, wait a second. These migrant workers built your stadiums. And no, you wait a second, sir. You wait a second. World Cup soccer and the Olympics, let's add up all the countries and cities that these events have been played in. And let's add up all the ones that have no human rights abuses. Still waiting. Oh, China just hosted winter and summer in the last 12 years. There's no claims against those. If we eliminated every country that had a human rights abuse, there'd be no place to play. And what does that have to do with us? We're a soccer organization. Take it up with the UN. And that would be the end of it. But not only does Infantino not shut it down, by the way, of course he doesn't shut it down because it's all part of a grand script, a grand play going on, with every single minion, of which there are millions, all reporting back to the same smoking room. He took it even further to create controversy. Look at the bottom. The infant wondered whether Europe should set up a compensation fund for the migrants who have died trying to make it there. What? Okay, guys, again, key moment. Remember when Bruce Banner in these movies, he's trying to keep his heart rate below a certain level, or he will just transform, the gamma rays will turn him into the Hulk? These are learning experiences for us. You want to get upset at this. You want to get enraged. So do I. You want to fire rubber duckies. You want to turn into the Hulk. Guys, this is what it does. Do not take the bait. It is fascinating and it is wondrous. It's evil genius. It is ultimately, again, you are so much more advanced spiritually compared to these minions or this Not Nilk system. You would not get upset at ants if they were picketing with little tiny signs outside your house. Matt, doesn't it upset you? There's these ants everywhere, little signs. It's sponsored by the same troll channels that are fixated by me. Doesn't that bother you? No. I mean, they're just ants out there. I don't care. Let them do whatever they want. You guys, I'm not here to make you feel better. You are literally, if you are going through this wake-up process and separating from this reality, you are a lottery winner times a million, times a billion, times a billion, times a billion. Spiritually superior where it counts. When we'll get a realization of this when we leave this earthly body at death. Until then, we have to put up with this shit. Next page and continuing, quote, "What we Europeans have been doing for the past 3,000 years, we should be apologizing for the next three..." Oh, no. He's the 3,000 years to the next 3,000 years, dropping the 33. Oh, no. Oh, God, just make it stop. Make it stop. Look at the tweet. FIFA president Gianni Infant says the West is in no position to give moral lessons to Qatar, adding that European nations should instead apologize. He's doing a Braveheart, some weird way. That scene in Braveheart, we must negotiate. Don't flee. We must negotiate. They send their riders out. The English send their representation out, and here comes Prince King Charles III on horseback with his posse, and says, "Prince King Charles III, this is William Wallace, and here to negotiate." "Oh, we'll negotiate. But before we do, you must send your commander out across this field, place his head between his legs, and kiss his own arse." Then for the second part of that whole reason I brought this up, this is begging forgiveness. The whole point here is then you must beg forgiveness for 1,000 years of rape and murder. That was very offensive, that accent, to the Irish and the Scottish, and I do apologize. Someone from Philly shouldn't even dabble in that. Look at this guy, if you can see the image. You don't need to. It's better if you don't see, actually. But this guy I call a Reince Priebus. I don't know if this guy's still around. You remember the head of the Republican committee, chairman, this Reince Priebus? I got the notion roughly 8 years ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, that these people, there's no possible way these people could be in the positions that they're in based on their own merits. It's this Reince Priebus. I don't know what his first name is. I say Reitz or Rince. I don't know what his name is. It's the weirdest first name of all time. But you know who I'm talking about. He was the most unlikable, sniveling little golem creature cretin. And it just came to me. I said, there's no way if things were real, they would choose this little sniveling creature. my precious. They would never choose Reince Priebus to head up the entire Republican whatever it is. I mean, this is, again, I can't do a sidebar. I'm assuming this two-party system is real. I think by now you know my thoughts on that. But I thought, this can't be real. And it's the same, this guy, we have a stuffed Lenin. This guy is a Reince Priebus. Reince, I don't know his first name. Reince Priebus. Meaning, look at him. There's no possible way a man like this could have gotten into this high up position unless he major league, something happened in the back of a certain eyes wide shut party, or he's connected. He is a Rockefeller. He is a Harriman. He is a Vanderbilt. All the old money that didn't go away. They just put their little nephews and half nephews and half cousins in positions of power. I believe that does happen. I believe all the old money is still here. It's like the J.P. Morgan Thanksgiving table, the heirs of the J.P. Morgan, the Morgan family Thanksgiving. We can make that a Christmas holiday special on the Hallmark Channel. Sitting around 25 years ago. What are we going to do with Gianni? He's causing problems. Look at him down there just playing with his mashed potatoes, keeps making lakes of gravy and spilling it onto the floor. I don't know. We got to do something with these family members. Make him the head of FIFA. He likes kicking that soccer ball around in the back, doesn't he? Yeah, he does that from time to time, and he barks at the moon. Have him head FIFA. We'll have him. But he doesn't have any train. He does all he doesn't have to. He just has to read from scripts. He doesn't need to do anything. We'll make all the decisions. We just put him up and pretend he's the head of FIFA. Make Gianni. Hey, Gianni, down. Stop playing with your mashed potatoes. Do you want to be the head of FIFA? What's that? Oh, of course you wouldn't know what it is. It's the head of all the soccer all around the world. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, that's your job. You conspiracy people truly are crazy. So you believe that individuals in exalted positions of power around the world were placed there because of family connections, and some of them placed there because the ancient family where the old money still exists, and people on the street believe it's just a new money list of .comers, but you saying the old money still exists. All the people in these exalted positions, or at least many of them, were placed there because they were becoming troublesome and burdensome family members? Yeah. What do you think? Sure, I believe there could be massive truth even in Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy, this is Big Tom Callahan's son. He was given, first day back from Marquette, did he have a C+ average? He was given his own corner office, there was a refrigerator in there, he had a fan, he go, Lou, I am your father. He played games. He basically became the CEO of the company. Big Tom Callahan died, and I'll do my dad's road trip. Oh, I'm not going on the road here with baby Huey. He was given control of the company. He had no skills. His whole brain was full of bong resin. Remember the opening scene? This, without a doubt, could be a movie truth drop that explains Gianti Infant, all these people. Elon Musk. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice knows they're smarter than Elon Musk. Serious, I'm not joking. You know what is your inner tuning fork say? Are you smarter than Elon Musk? Of course you are. Of course I am. He doesn't even, again, like I said a few videos back, he doesn't even know how to change the password on his computers of the companies that he supposedly owns. Look at people like Rights Previs, and we're surrounded, people like you and me are surrounded by people in exalted positions of power that to us come off like Tommy Boy. They do. Because they're placed there. They don't do anything. They don't make the decisions. Now, the creeps that sit at that one table, what I call the smoking room, I would not want to compare brain pans with them. That this is an evil genius, the likes of which is incomprehensible. Okay, I don't need to be as smart as them. I just need to avoid them and do my own worry about yourself thing or myself thing, and try to separate from the reality. Not get based. Use it like what Bruce Banner did in that. What's that? It was the Edward Norton Hulk, where he's controlling his heart rate through the breathing exercises. When this shit comes to piss you off, and it comes daily now, make sure your heart rate stays even. Look at it as a test. Look at it as training. It's designed to get under your skin, so don't let it. Look at my big college boy. Come here, Tommy Boy. You can stick your head up a butcher's ass, but wouldn't you rather take the bull's word for it? Thanks for listening.